Hello, my name is Elizabeth Blandon from Blandon Law with the second part of a series on how to fill an asylum application. Now, on this second page, I'm going to discuss the attention and the surprises, but most importantly, this is not legal advice. This is how to fill out a form, and I strongly advise you to consult with an immigration lawyer about your personal circumstances as to whether even asylum law is the best benefit for you. But let's get right into it. First of all, for the second page, it is the one that discusses your spouse and your children. In order for you to include your spouse, they're asking you about the date of the marriage. If you are not married, if you're in some kind of common law marriage situation, you need to be certain that your spouse would qualify, because common law marriage may or may not apply, and certainly the best way might be to have a marriage ceremony. Second, there's a section in the application which includes information on your children, and at the end it asks specifically whether you want to include each child in the application. And you'll see that the third page is the same. Second and third page are for children. So here's what I want to say about that. You may not necessarily want to include each child. Certainly if a child is a U.S. citizen, you would not include that child in the application. And also, there may be children with whom you do not have a very good relationship for very valid reasons that may have something to do with your asylum application. And so definitely you would not want to include children in your application, although you must mention them. Finally, that portion only applies to children who are in the United States. So even though you will mention all your children, that doesn't mean you necessarily can include them in your application. If a case is denied and a child is included in the application, they may be referred to court. Here are the surprises that are on pages 2 and 3. On pages 2 and 3, the citizenship of your spouse is a very important matter. There's case law speaking that a person may not be eligible for asylum based on the citizenship of the spouse. Now, whether that case law is good or not, or whether it applies to you, again, you need to speak with an immigration lawyer, but please know that that can be a surprise on your case when you fill out your spouse's citizenship. Likewise, the last time your spouse entered the United States is also going to be of very much interest to the immigration officer, because it indicates that your spouse came to the United States and perhaps returned to your home country. So that may be an indicator that there wasn't that much fear. Finally, the number of your children. You must include each and every child, again, regardless of your relationship to that child, and regardless of whether or not you're going to include them in the immigration case. So these are the attentions and the surprises that you should be wary of on the second and third pages of the asylum application. We'll continue with this series in another video.